One of the first things most ultra classic owners buy is the TourEase Deluxe Luggage Rack available from J&P Cycles. Put this thing on there, adds a ton more cargo space. It's really easy to install. First thing we want to do is get a good idea where we're going to put it. Now, as you can see, we've already started using painter's tape. We put the painter's tape on there, that way we can move it around without worrying about scratching up the paint. Now that we have a good idea where the holes are going to need to be drilled, we're going to go ahead and put the tape on there so we can finish lining everything up. Now you can position this thing anywhere you really want to. Some people like having the rack real close to the seat. Some people like having it farther back. Each one has its advantages. When you're going to put a bag on here, it's usually going to spill over both ways. I like to do it where this rail is even with the top line of the box. So that's how we're going to do ours, but feel free to do however you want to do. Remember, measure twice, drill once. Now that we've got it exactly where we want it, I'm going to have Tony hold it still while I go around and mark it. Now, before you drill these holes, you need to make very sure this is exactly where you want it. It's a pretty good size screw for the size of the post. If you have to start augering it out, you're going to have this rack fall through your trunk. You're not going to be very happy. The top of a tour box is kind of expensive. So double check everything, make sure your holes are right where you are, then we'll go ahead and get started on drilling. Now I started out drilling my holes with a uni bit. The uni bit, the tip, works really nice to get a nice hole started right in the center. Now I'm going to go ahead and use a standard style drill bit. The drill bit I'm using is just a couple thousandths bigger than the actual bolt. That way if I do need to modify a little bit, I can just use a file and move it around. Don't risk making the hole too big. On a quick note, you do want to make sure you don't drill into anything that's inside of your tour pack. If you have a lid organizer, you have to take it off. But be very careful, don't drill into anything. Now that you're done drilling all the holes, go ahead and remove the tape. And you want to get anything that's left over, blow it off the cover, wipe it off, whatever you do. Just be very careful not to scratch the paint. Now, one of the things I do on almost any chrome part before I install it is I chase the holes that have threads in them with a nice tap. Now on this one, because it's a short hole, I'm going to use a regular tap to get started, and then I'm going to come back in with a bottoming tap. Now if you don't have a bottoming tap, that'll be okay. You can get by with this, it'll be good enough. But what you're trying to do is, after they chrome these things, you get lots of buildup in the threads. We're going to go ahead and tap that out to make sure our screws go in and out with ease. And if we ever have to take this off, they're not going to be seized up. To finish installing it, you need a 3/16 Allen wrench. That's to tighten up the screws that go on the inside. Now it comes with screws, a metal washer, and a rubber washer. The rubber washer goes on the top between the rack and the tour pack lid. This is a job that's good with two people because I'll stick the screw through, then he can kind of put it on there to keep it from sliding around because you do have to do it with the trunk open. Well, what do you know? All the holes lined up. This was a very simple install. Taking the time to measure it a couple times and make sure it was exactly where we wanted. All the bolts went right in. We didn't have to do any filing. Something you can easily do in an hour at home.